Okay, today's topic will be a little bit shorter than our earlier ones because it's dealing with a fairly specific portion of debt and loans, and it's something called an amortization table. Once again, an amortization table. Um, what that is really is a laid out schedule of payments showing how much you're paying off a debt or loan over time. It often will show how much interest you're paying, how much your balance is being paid down, and so on. And we're going to make one of these on the old NezPez site here. So you'll probably want to watch this through one or two times if you try these out, but they'll be here. So anyway, I am just going to shrink this down and we'll show a little bit about what we're working with today. So here I go. Okay. So you should find yourself here on the NezPez page. Now, on the main page, if you scroll down towards the bottom, you'll have a number of options here, one of which is called Sheets, and that's what we're going to work in right now. So if you come to Sheets, you'll open up something that looks like this. And what we're going to start with is a blank spreadsheet. And that gives us a screen that looks something like this. I'm going to name this amortization table. And this is from section 2.1. Intro. Now, a few important points as we get into this. Each of these individual blocks that I can click around in down here, these are what we call cells. Any one of these is a particular cell. And it's referenced by the letter up top and by the number down the side. It goes by column name and row name, so this particular cell would be cell B5. I don't really need to name them all, but that's what this one would be. It's in column B, row 5. I'll get rid of that for now. So you can type anything you want into all these different cells, but the really important thing for us and for anyone using these is that you can make formulas of the different cells to let them do things. So this is what we're working from, is an investigation and example on pages 80 and 81 of your book. So I'll put that here just so you can see it. It's investigation and example on pages 80 to 81. And as I look at that, I feel it's probably going to be pretty small on your screen. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to click up in this rectangle here, which lets me select everything. And I am going to change my font size to 14, which should make things a little bit more readable for you. Now you'll notice when you type into a cell, everything just comes out here. But this is all attached just to that particular cell I started in B2. If I clicked on C2, there's nothing there. It just overwrote across. I'm also going to fix my spacing. Now, in this particular investigation, we're taking a look at Lars, who's borrowed $12,000 from a bank at 5% compounded monthly to buy a new personal watercraft. And I'll just type out some of those details quickly here. Borrowed $12,000 at 5%, compounded monthly. The bank will use the watercraft he's buying as collateral, meaning that they'll take it if he doesn't keep paying. For the loan, Lars negotiated regular loan payments of $350 at the end of each month. So monthly payments of $350. And what we're going to do is we're going to make an amortization table. Now, you could just use the solver and work through how long it takes them to pay all this off, but the table actually gives you a little bit more detail about what's going on at what point in time, and it's kind of handy if you want to go ahead and make prepayments on a loan to try to pay your debt down a little bit quicker. So I will set this next bit up much the same as they have it in there, although I wonder if I can get away with, one second, I'm just going to try something here. I know how I can get it to work in other things. I want to format the cell. Let's see if I can format this someplace. I'm going to paint the format. Line, vertical line, text wrapping. That is what I want. There. Payment period. Month. Since these are all happening monthly. I want to center some things as well. I'm selecting a number of cells because I'm going to be using those things as we go down. Probably change some of that as we go along. Let's that slightly to regular payment. And interest paid. Odd for me. And they give us a little formula under that, so I'm going to put that in there as well. Balance times decimal 0.5 over 12. I'm going to make that a little bit bigger just so you can read that formula out there well enough. Principal paid. That's payment minus interest. And balance. Okay, now since these columns are all going to be money, you don't have to do this next step, but I am going to give myself a few rows. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to change the format of these cells to be money. That means the numbers that I work at will all come out in dollars and cents. Alright, so now we start out by setting up the conditions that have been put on Lars's loan. At month 0, he's made no payments yet, and there's been no interest, no principal, and he's borrowed $12,000. See there, notice how that is coming out as money at this point. Now, here's where we can start to put formulas into this. Every formula has to start with an equal sign. And then you can refer to cells. I want my months to go up by 1 as I come down in this table. So I'm going to say that where I'm at now, B8, is equal to the cell from before, B7, plus 1. So that's incremented it by 1, and that's good. My regular payment is always $350. Now the interest paid, notice that that's the balance times 0.05 over 12. So here's how I'm going to refer to that. I'm going to hit equals, and you can also see your formulas happening up here. It's going to equal my balance, which is in F7, times, which is the asterisk on your computer, decimal 0.5 divided by 12. Now my next one I say is payment minus interest. So that's going to be my payment in C8 minus my interest in D8. And the balance will be my previous balance in F7 minus whatever I've paid off of the principal. That's in E8. Alright, so 1 month in, after a $350 payment, 50 of which went towards paying off interest, which left 300 to come off of the main part of the debt, which is what's been shown here. So after 1 month, paying $350 a month, you owe $11,700. So if we go through what happened, you started out borrowing $12,000. A month's worth of interest went on that. Then you made your regular payment, $50 of which went to pay off the interest. The other $300 paid down the main part of the debt. So now you say, great, if I want to keep that going, do I have to put that in every time? You do not. Since we set up everything here as a formula, if I just copy the cells down, it's actually going to change those formulas as I go too. If I select all of these cells and then go down one, for instance, and I'm going to see if, I know a keyboard shortcut for this, but I'm going to see if there's a way to show it in here. It's a special form of copy is what it is, and it doesn't seem to be showing it to me here. Nope. It's all about a shortcut. What I'm about to do, so I'm going to select these again. Then I'm going to shift the cells down, and I'm going to press Control D. What that does is it moves my formulas down, and I'm going to mention that here. Select all cells in row 8. Then move down 1. Expand the selection to the next row, and then press Control D. We're going to make that so you can actually read it. Go. So if we notice what happens, this first formula was B7 plus 1. Now my next ones become B8 plus 1. As I move down in these, copying will automatically move that row number as well. My payment, I just copied the same thing down. My interest, copied the formula down, changing the cells appropriately. Same thing with the principal paid, and same thing with the balance. So that Control D is fairly powerful when you've set up an equation that you can use over and over again. So, in month 2, since there was less of a balance, less interest was generated that you need to pay off, which means more of your payment went towards paying off the principal, which means that was your new balance. And we can then continue this down until we know more and more information. So, a few questions that we were asked about this. Let's change these two because I want to see them. One, at the end of the first year, how much has Lars paid altogether? How much interest has he paid? And how much of the principal has he paid off? How much of the loan has he paid off? Load. So let's find that out. Let's bring this down to a year or 12 months. So this is month 2, month 3, month 4, month 5, month 6, month 7, month 8, month 9, month 10, month 11, month 12. If I then press Control D again, I get my new totals for the end of the year. And then I can answer these questions. I'm going to change color for those just because. Oh, why not a little green? Alright, at the end of the first year, how much has he paid altogether? Well, that's going to be whatever 12 times 350 is. 12 times 350, or I want to work out what that is. He's paid $4,200. How much interest has Lars paid? Well, I don't really want to work that all out, so I'm going to use another formula here. And this is called the sum formula. You don't have to do it this way, but I'm going to add up everything from D8 to D19. D8 to D19. You'll notice that when you set up a range, it shows you what you're adding up. So, looks like Lars has paid $516. $516.34. And how much of the loan has he paid off? Well, that's just going to be 12,000 minus 8,316.34. Or $3,683.66. I also want to make it that green color. That's pretty green color. Okay. So you can start to see this as a bit of a planning tool to figure out where you'll be a year into a loan, that sort of thing. Now look at the things that are in example 1. This was from the just investigation description. From example 1 on page 81, we're asked to figure out when will Lars have paid off half the loan, how long will it take to pay off the loan entirely, and how much interest will Lars have paid by the time he's paid off the loan. So, do a few parts to this. A is, in what month will Lars have half the loan paid off? B, how long will it take Lars to pay off the loan? And C, how much interest will Lars have paid in total? Alright, so we need to carry this thing down until we get a zero balance. So, it seems pretty clear it's going to take at least another 2 years. So let's bring us down 36 points. So 13, 14, 15, 16. There's someplace along here I thought it counted these things. Anyway, we're starting at 19. We want to go another 24. So that takes us to about 19. Yeah, that takes us to, wow, 19 and 24. 43. Yeesh. And I couldn't bring that down. So I'm not quite paid off yet, but I'm pretty close. Bring myself down another month. And then we're here. Now, if I bring myself down one more month, it seems pretty clear we're going a little bit crazy. Oh, now they're paying us. No. So in that last month, if you're down to owing $25.56, then your last payment is going to be that $25.56. So I'm just going to overwrite the formula and put $25.56 here. Oh, I need that extra 11 cents though. So $25.67. $5.66? Yeah, sure. There we go. So we brought ourselves down to a zero balance. So now we've got some information. So when's Lars going to pay this loan off? He's going to pay it in month 36, or 38, sorry. paid off in month, by month 38 I should say, by month 38. What month we paid off half the loan. So basically, when does he owe about $6,000? So between the 19th and 20th month is when he'll pay it off. Technically, he wouldn't have paid off half the loan until the 20th month. Half paid in month 20. Notice that that's not exactly half of the total. As it moves along, the amount you get paid off, the main part sort of accelerates. How much interest will he have paid in total? That's where our sum formula is going to be kind of handy again. And I'm going to add up everything from D8 to D45. I'll call that total interest. And that's going to be equal the sum from D8 to D45. And that's $975.66. So that is an amortization table. For that particular debt, it shows how a $350 monthly payment will play out over time. How much you owe at different points, and that sort of thing. You can look at that before you take on a loan to see how it's going to affect you month to month. Or you can make changes along the way, and if we start doing these a bit more, we might talk about how you can insert extra payments. For instance, if you come into a little money for like a tax refund or that sort of thing, and you want to pay off a bit, how that can affect the entirety of your loan. So ultimately, B and C we could have worked out just by using the solver, but you get a lot more details when you set up an amortization table than you could get from just the solver. Alright, that's all that I really have to talk about this. I recommend that you try to set something like this up yourself for that specific setup, the investigation example on pages 80 and 81, to see if you're okay with it. I will save a copy of this file where you can access it through the Google Classroom. Yeah, try to set up your own, see if you can get it to work out. You don't necessarily need to set up everything to read dollars and cents like that, but you can if you like. And that's all that I really have to say about that. Okay, that's a short one. There are a couple of questions to go along with this, but just the two. So I'll stop talking now. Thanks everybody for listening. See you next time.